This is it, guys. The finale of F1 2011 Career Mode. 19 episodes in, or 19 races in rather. And this is it, the finale for the Brazilian Grand Prix. If you haven't been keeping up with the series, I'll just give you a little bit of a rundown on what's going on now with the championship. The standings as they are now. Mark Webber leads by 20 points over myself in second place, Jenson Button. He's not really a factor for the championship, but he can still beat me if I have a disastrous race in this final episode here. So, 20 points to Mark Webber. We basically need to win the race and hope that Mark has an absolutely shocking one here in Brazil for us to be any chance to win this championship. So it's going to be all guns blazing for us and hoping that Webber just has an absolute mare today. So it's time for the final race of the season. It's time for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Season objective, finish 16th with one race remaining. I don't think we can do it. Not good. Not good. This is what the forecast is for the Brazilian Grand Prix. We've got rain in practice, rain in qualifying, and then slightly cloudy in the race. So there is that ever-threatening chance of multiple tyre compounds being used in the race for varying weather conditions. So that is very interesting. If I haven't mentioned already as well, we're also doing a 50% for this race. So there's going to be even more strategy to add to this dramatic finale. So it's probably I'm really looking forward to this race, believe it or not. We've got a massive championship to try and win here. I really do want to win this championship because that means if I win this one, I only need to win on F1 2010 now, and I've won on every single F1 game. But yeah, either way, we've got the strategy, we've got the championship to think about, and I really don't know how it's going to go. I really do hope we have the pace if it decides to start raining. Barrichello is out of here, and qualifying is underway now. We've got a 93% chance of rain. We're currently on the intermediate tyres. I don't want to muck around too much, because with a 93% chance of rain, there's every possibility that it could get heavier towards the end of the session. So quickly having a look at the teammate challenge. This will be one of the last times we get to see this. You can see we're absolutely dominating Barrichello in every facet of this championship. He's out-qualified me a couple times, out-raced me a couple times, and he's got one fastest lap over me. Apart from that, it's been the Ben Daly show as far as I'm concerned in this 2011 career mode. But here we go, 19 minutes to play in this session. It might be weather affected, so that could just make this result even more interesting. Yeah. Massa, come on, let me through, son. I want a qualifying lap. Here we go, coming up to the line for our first kind of competitive lap time in qualifying. What is it going to be? Is it the top 10? 12.
That puts you in 12.
Not that great, to be honest. 2.5 seconds off.
Current reports are suggesting rain will stop in 10 minutes time. 10 minutes.
Oh, interesting. I think there's only about 10 minutes to go in the session as well, so it's going to be another one of those sessions where you've got to be out at the end setting lap times in order to move forward in this qualifying session. I'm finding it so easy to lose the back end through a lot of these medium speed corners. It's quite ridiculous. Come on, please. Please give me a better time. 10th.
Sector 2 is good. We're dropping a little in sectors 1 and 3. The times
Hey.
through the first 2 sectors were really good.
That's better.
You need to pick up the pace in the final sector though.
Oh shit, I've done a Grosjean. I've done a Grosjean. Lucky. What?
Looks like we've been awarded a 10-place grid penalty.
I was only turning around to rejoin on the track. Like, I had to point backwards. I was already pointing in the wrong direction. Because I'd spun out at the final corner. I was just going into the infield so that I could get off the racetrack and then continue in the right direction. What else am I supposed to do there? What the hell? Just randomly checked the race director, because I was thinking about possibly taking a massive risk and going to a set of options. But it looks like everyone's on the track with a set of options on. So, I'm going to go straight out right now, set of option tyres, try and plonk this thing on pole, because now we have a 10-place grid penalty. We may as well have a go, get ourselves up the order, and that way we'll minimise the damage we're taking for the start grid. Oh my god, would you look at this. with 1 minute and 48 seconds to go, we're driving around on slick tyres. Everyone is risking it on slick tyres. We need to get up the order so that we can get on pole and minimise and try and get up as far as we can for the race, because we do have a grid penalty to serve. So this just got interesting. Let's go. Let's try and settle out. We've got to stay within like the tram track of the dry line. Otherwise, we'll lose so much grip. It'll just fall off the cliff. Luckily for us, we've just crossed the line there. We may be one of the last people to cross the line, so that could favour us here as we get towards the end of the session. The track is drying.
1 minute remaining, just 1 minute.
Alonso bangs in a 1:11.6. That is very competitive. It's just going to be happy hour for the next minute and a half now as people just continually cross the line. Whoever crosses the line last will essentially get poled probably. Alright, here we go, up into fast. This is going to be our first competitive lap on a set of dry tyres. I think we've kept it fairly clean. We're going to take a little bit more risks in this one. I just wanted to get a banker in. 1:12.5. That puts us in P4. I've got to concentrate now and try and get pole on this lap. There's only a couple of cars behind me now, so we're well and truly in the box seat here, so long as we can nail a lap. I'm probably going to stay on board for the rest of this lap now. Purple. Oh geez, turned in a little bit early. Felt like I had a lot more grip. I have a lot more grip than what I was anticipating coming into that corner. Middle sector now, 5th gear. You can possibly shift down to 4th if you want to get the nose in, but it harms the mid-corner speed. 1st gear, turn in. Shift up to 2nd. Try and minimise those wheel spin. Down to the hairpin. We've gone in a little bit deep. Got a bit of water on the tyres. It's not ideal for the grip. The track is completely yellow. I think that's a glitch. Anyway, final corner. We're down 2.5 tenths. It wasn't the best final corner either. I could have taken a bit more pace in there. Braked a little bit later. Turned a little bit later. But I got a better exit. You're coming up to the line. I'm sure I was in fast. But either way, coming up to the line. Do we get pole position for the Brazilian Grand Prix? Not quite. 6 tenths off, so we'll be starting in P14 in Brazil. So not too bad, to be honest. It could have been a lot worse. I think we were at position 8 and ready to like retire and go to the end of the session there after I found out I had the grid penalty. But I'm so glad that I checked the race director and made sure that everyone was on options, because I was almost planning on going out on another set of intermediates just to be safe, but I'm so glad I didn't now. It's P14 for Brazil. Hang on. Where's Mark Webber? Mark Webber is in P16, lads. This is our opportunity to win the championship out of nowhere. Win the race. Mark Webber, he's got to score 6 points in this race, so he needs to get 7th or above in order to secure the championship, no matter what I do. But the fact that he's starting down in P16, that is just a miracle. Wow. We are in for an absolute treat here for the season finale of F1 2011 Career Mode. It's time for the race. Here we go. The final race of the season. It all comes down to this. Myself and Mark Webber starting directly behind me. It is between us two for the fight for this championship. And away we go for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Let's put it up in a rich mix just straight away. Try and make up as many positions as we can. Heading into turn 1. We've literally made up none. Actually ran wide a little bit into the Force India there. But we carry on. Having to concentrate here. This opening stanza of the race is very important for our finishing position in this race. It may actually rain a little bit later on in the race as well. You never know. This is Brazil. Anything is possible. Into turn 4 now. We're into P9 now. So very good start for us. Mark Webber, I can't really see him behind us. So that's a good sign. Are we going to go up the inside of Alguersuari? No, we're going to have to bide our time at the moment. Maybe into this corner. Yes. Yes. We've got him. Position 8. What? I spoke way too soon. I definitely haven't got him, but now I do. Bit of curves on the run up to this right-hander, and that has put us in a position to overtake Heidfeld.
Great move, great move.
Thank you, engineer. That was very strategic. I saved all of my curves there, or I saved most of it and used half of it on the run up that hill. And that gave us the drive to get in front of Heidfeld there. Next up is Perez. We'll get him into the next corner. It was a bit of a dive bomb there. You know what? I'll give the position back. It's a long race. We may as well do this cleanly. Mark Webber is still behind us, so that's the main thing. If I'm going to be brutally honest, I'm a little bit devastated that this is a 50% race. If it was a shorter race, then we would have given ourselves more of a chance to actually win the championship. Because now with a longer race, Mark Webber's got a quick car. There's no doubt about that. That simply gives him more laps, more time to make up those positions and get into P7 in order to clinch the championship. But at the same time, it also gives me more time. But if anything, I'd rather be rushed, try and overtake those guys as quickly as I can, and try and win the championship that way. But at the moment, it's going pretty well. Mark Webber is right at the back of that queue there. He's in position 18, so it's pretty much been the dream start so far. I really can't complain. Goodbye, Buemi. P5.
Battle's 5 seconds ahead. 5 seconds ahead of you.
Yeah, you're a very even match for me today. I'm really having to push late on in this stint in order to keep up with them. Having to run rich revs here. We've dropped down to +1 lap now.
Ready for you at the end of this lap. Hit this lap.
And now we'll be pitting at the end of this lap. I was very tempted to go for the undercut, but I need to stretch these options out as long as I can, because I may switch to a 2-stop in this race. Go primes to the end of the race from here. I feel like that may be a better strategy as opposed to a 3-stop, which my engineer recommended for me. Alright, so into the pits we go now for our first stop of the race. We'll be putting on a set of prime tyres here for this first stint. I believe we held up a McLaren there, which should help our cause a little bit. We'll see. Hopefully it's not a busy pit lane. We got held by a Toro Rosso. 5.9 second stop. Not the best, to be honest. But update on Mark Webber. He's in P17 at the moment, so that's all I could really ask for. He's still getting held up by my teammate. My teammate, Rubens, he's just doing an absolute job for me at the moment. Catching up to a bit of a cluster here. Basically, the leaders are getting caught up in lap cars, and that's really bringing them towards me. I've just dipped into -1 as well. I'm really having to burn fuel here to catch the leaders. As soon as I get onto the back of this train, I've got to start fuel saving. I've got to get into lean, use the slipstream in order to drag me along while I save fuel. That's like the key to success on this game. What was that? What was that all about? Bloody hell. These lap cars really do cause havoc for all the cars behind. Yeah, I don't care who's getting ready for a pit stop. I'm getting ready for an overtake. Here we go, into second place. Narain Karthikeyan, you absolute legend. My spirit animal from 2012. He has hooked me up right there with the second place position. Next up is Alonso. It's the race leader. I think that was Sebastian Vettel who pulled into the pits there. He's opted to run instead of option tyres at the second stint there. So he's going to be running primes to the end here. So it's a bit of a split strategy here for some of the AI. I'm going to run with primes in the next stint as well, and possibly finish on options if I can't make a 2-stop work. I just went purple, second sector, buddy. Come on. DRS. We'll open a bit of that. And coming on to this DRS straight.
Is that Glock? It is! It's Glock! Oh my goodness me!
Ultimate script right there. We pass Glock and we move into the lead of the race as Alonso pits on his option tyres. Remember that weather I was talking about, guys, at the start of the race? Well, it looks like it's starting to arrive.
The pit window is open. Come in this lap.
Thanks, Andy. Just as I'm getting ready to come into the pits, it looks like it's starting to rain slightly. So this timing is almost perfect. We're going to go onto a set of prime tyres now. I was scheduled to go onto options now, but I feel like it may rain in the next 10-15 minutes, and that'll cover the length of this prime stint. So we could get away with one less stop if we switch onto a set of intermediate tyres though. But in the long run, this won't even affect us. It'll just mean we finish on a set of options if it stays dry. So trying to have all the bases covered here in the Brazilian Grand Prix. It's looking good for us at the moment, despite giving the undercut to some of the guys in front. But we should catch them pretty quickly. Is that Glock? Oh my goodness me. It's Glock. What's going on? Hamilton! Hamilton's got a puncture! Oh my, wow. Unbelievable scenes. I saw someone was going slowly. I did not think it was Hamilton. I thought it was possibly another slow car. But Hamilton, random tyre punctures. I thought the tyres couldn't explode on this game, but how wrong am I? I genuinely hope Hamilton recovers though. I need him to recover well and get back through the field, because that's another free position that Mark Webber has just got. You know, we can celebrate now, but think about it in the long run. Mark Webber has just gained a position. We've gained a position, and then another position. Oh, sorry, Alonso. Speaking of gaining positions, we almost gained one on Alonso there until we kind of barged him out the way into turn 1, but we carry on. Alonso, I don't know why the AI are persisting with the option tyres. I honestly don't think they're that good of a race tyre, to be honest. They don't seem to have the pace or the longevity to make this tyre compound work. Maybe primes to the end is the way to go. I may even stop early and put on another set of primes if it doesn't rain, but we'll have to wait and see. DRS is open. Slipstream on Alonso. We're going to go swooping around the outside. Alonso, jeez. He left absolutely no room for us to squeeze through there. Almost had to go off track there, but we've taken the lead of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Just 14 laps to go. Mark Webber is in P16. At the moment, things are looking good. Cheeky fastest lap. Alonso's into the pits, and Webber's in P15 now, so he's slowly moving up. I've got to say, Mark Webber has taken so long to make up any positions in this race. I really thought the race would have opened up for him after the first round of pit stops, but it really hasn't. Oh, jeez, that was close. But here we go, into the pits now for our final stop of this race. Now we're going to go on to another set of prime tyres. I've got to say, I preferred the prime tyres over the course of this race. Not only have they been actually fairly quick, but they've been very durable compared to the option tyres. So it's the preferred tyre for me. We're going to rejoin in position 3 in this race with 8 laps left to go. I'm not too sure what the AI are doing in terms of strategy from here, but we've got to act as if they aren't stopping. We've got to push and just assume that they aren't coming in, because we can't afford to just sit back. Thank you, engineer, as he tells me to save fuel. We can't afford to sit back and just let them romp away if they don't stop again. So we're going to push on, try and get the lead, then we can relax. Oh, this is cheeky. This is so cheeky. Truly, you're a prick. Oh. What is this? Oh, wow. Massa swerved into the pits at the last second there. So now we've retaken the lead of the Brazilian Grand Prix. We're on prime tyres. We've got pretty fresh tyres. We've got to save a bit of fuel, because I think we're down on fuel. -2 laps. So we've got to save fuel from here and just bring it home. Mark Webber now, P11. He's getting very close.
Looks like there's a problem with Kurz. The guy...
No. Are you kidding me? Are you actually kidding me? What a joke. We've lost Kurz now. And we've been fuel saving for ages. 5-6 laps. We're still -1 lap down on fuel. And there's just over a lap and a half to go. I'm starting to get a little bit nervous here, actually. At what point do we say, time to go ultra fuel con? You know what? I think it's time to start doing that now. To shift up as early as we can. We have a 7-second lead to Alonso. There's no need to push that. There's no need to push so hard that we run ourselves out of fuel. And the Kurz is back. Okay, that's going to help a bit. But I'll be really happy when I see the fuel go to optimal once again. Still shifting up very early now as we come on to the final lap. The gap to Alonso, 7.7 seconds. And now even into braking zones. We're going to lift and coast. Come on, when is my fuel going to come back? This is too much. Lifting and coasting now, 5th gear. There it goes, we're in optimal now. We can kind of drive normally now. The gap is now down to 6.8. Final lap of the race. We're not going to push too hard. Let's just bring it home from here. This finale has been so tense, right from start to finish. I don't think you guys will quite understand how much I've been trying to win this championship. Mark Webber was down the order for the majority of this race, but there was a lot of pressure on me for me to get towards the front of the field. in order to get these guys in terms of strategy. I wasn't sure what was happening with those guys with their pit stops, what was going to happen with the rain. Fortunately enough for us, the rain has stayed away. Mark Webber has had an absolute mare today. He hasn't been able to overtake anyone, basically, and he is still out of the points. We're going to come across the line here for the Brazilian Grand Prix to not only win the race, but to win the championship too. What a season.
Absolutely brilliant. Well done.
Is that it? Is that all I get for winning the championship, for winning the final race in order to clinch the title? At no point this season did we lead the championship. They're coming into the final round. It looked like we were no hope of winning this thing, but out of nowhere, we've come across the line to win the championship, and I'm just in complete shock. There we go. That has been this series on F1 2011. It is completed. It is done. Make sure you smash that like button if you have enjoyed this series. I gotta say, throughout the midpoint of that series, I probably wasn't enjoying it that much, but as I sort of got used to this game a little bit more, I found that the battles and all that kind of thing were actually pretty enjoyable for my experience anyway. So there we go. We won the Brazilian Grand Prix. We're going to scroll down and see Mark Webber finishes in 10th place in the end. So nice little recovery there in the final few laps. He was in P13, I believe, with 2 or 3 laps to go. I actually wrote him off. I didn't think he would get back in the points there, but we'll scroll across and we'll see what the final points tally is for the championship. So 4 points is the difference between myself and Mark Webber at the end of these 19 races. Jenson Button finishes in 3rd. I'm going to run down the entire top 10 here. Alonso 4th, Vettel, Hamilton, Massa, Petrov, Heidfeld, Rosberg, Schumacher unlucky to not finish in the top 10 there. Kobayashi, Alguersuari, Sergio Perez, Buemi, Paul di Resta, Adrian Sutil, the final point scorer in this championship. Rubens Barrichello, despite being the teammate of the world champion, he failed to score any points this season. What a disappointing teammate, once again in a career mode. Heikki Kovalainen comes across the line in 19th place there for the standings. Narain Karthikeyan P20, Timo Glock 21st, and rounding out the bottom of the table we have D'Ambrosio, Liuzzi in 23rd, and then rounding out at the very back of the field we have Jarno Trulli. So that is the F1 2011 drivers standings. In the constructors, we finish in 4th place, and we solely did that on our own there, thanks to, what's his name, Rubens Barrichello not managing to score a point throughout that entire season. So there we go, that's it. F1 2011, it's been done and dusted. What am I going to do next in terms of my next F1 career mode? Well, I'm going to tell you guys in a second. Hey Crofty, how you doing, fella?
Now, your team must be pleased with your finishing position this season. They probably didn't hope to do as well as they did, but you made it all happen. So what have you got to say?
I don't really know what to say, to be honest. It was a very up and down season. We started off in the HRT. We started off with some very poor results, and we were really quite sporadic across the course of the season. Consistency was definitely not in the vocabulary. Some races we were on fire, and then other races we just fell apart and just like scored no points. But to come away with a championship, like I'm honestly so happy that we managed to do it in the end.
Congratulations on becoming world champion. You've obviously had a great season. So how do you feel about things right now?
That's literally the same question he asked the first time.
Now, you must go into a weekend with certain goals and expectations. So did this weekend go according to plan?
That's a Kimi Räikkönen kind of answer right there. And look at that. There is our Drivers' Championship trophy sitting in the garage right there. Benjamin Daly, World Drivers' Champion for F1 2011. And that is it. That is it for F1 2011. The series is now done and dusted. I want to say a massive thank you to you guys for coming together, watching this game. This game is 5 years old. I've got to put that across. And this was actually probably my least favorite F1 game on the entire franchise. But you guys have absolutely smashed the support on this series. You know, over 1,000 likes on every single episode, right from start to finish. And yeah, I may have drove like a complete idiot at some races, but you guys still continue to watch, still continue to support, and I can only thank you guys for that. So without further ado, I'm going to say the career mode that I'm going to be doing next that starts in May. It's not going to be a Codemasters F1 game. I'll be going back to F1 Championship Edition, F1 2006. I've been reading the comments over the last few months, and you guys have been pretty much begging for it. So I'm going to give it to you guys in May, and I'm not too sure how long that career mode is going to go. It may be a multi-season career mode. I haven't played the game yet as well, so it's going to be very fresh for myself. And hopefully you guys too. I'm looking to have a lot of fun in this series. So once again, guys, I can only say thank you for watching all of my videos on this series. Smash a like button if you've enjoyed. And who knows, maybe even one day, a few years' time, we may come back to F1 2011 and try our luck in a HRT or something like that. So yeah, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Until my next series, guys, yeah, I'll see you next time.
Why you coming back for